The beer ramble back again, another beer edition. Yes, I need to shave. I look a bloody mess. But anyway, on Happy Ale or herb spice beer style. It's an 81 score on Beer Advocate. There's my can opener, and of course, it's over there. Excuse me. All right, back. So, 81 score on Beer Advocate. Blue Moon Brewing Company, aka Coors Brewing Company, in Golden, Colorado. Got this at the special hookup store, 99 cents. This is also the same price as the other beer that I had. What was that other beer I had? Name escapes me. Yeah, I had the Pump Kick from New Belgium. I bought that from there too as well. So it's a little frothy. This was in my little wine cooler, where I would now it's being used by my beloved, my significant other. Excuse me one second. Close some doors. All right. Let's see. A lot of head up top right here. I still got a little more in that bottle, but it's a little sort of like an orange-ade look to it on the bottom. A very cloudy. It does look like something from Blue Moon. They would put together one of their wheat there. Of course, their signature beer, the Blue Moon Belgian wheat or white ale, I guess. Belgian wheat ale, their signature. And people thought they were a craft beer company, which was, when I said Golden, Colorado, I think everyone kind of knew this was not legit. Um, see, with a nice little froth color. Blue Moon, of course. Coors is probably one of the first. I mean, they've been around, but they've known for a while. The craft beer folks were making their big push towards them, and they were the first of the big companies when they were all separate before they all merged together back in 1995 to kind of take a look, said over their shoulders, and say, well, maybe we need to do something to tap into that craft beer market, and that's when Blue Moon was discovered in around late 94, early 95, and then of course they went national, and Blue Moon was born. So as you can see with the beer, Blue Moon, the Belgian white, as I mentioned, is their signature beers. They have other styles that come out during the year. They have an Oktoberfest, they have a Harvest Pumpkin, they have a Farmhouse style beer. They have the white IPA, which I did last year, and a Pilsner style Belgian table Pils, which I've also reviewed. So they have quite a few selection of beers. If you go look at their website, go to the Coors website or Molson Coors, or go to the Miller Coors website, you'll see all of their beers that they have in file. But anyway, very orangeade colors. You can see right here, very cloudy. A lot of head up top. Put a little more up top here. Here goes the scent. Definitely some cinnamon. Definitely is there. Crafted with cinnamon and long grain rice, according to what their standard is. 5.5 ABV, so it's not bad. It's pretty light. Maybe not light, but I guess on the same level as some others. So it's not bad. Scent, overwhelmingly more cinnamon than anything. So down the hatch. Hmm. Some herb spice beers are pretty decent. Most not so much. This really could taste the cinnamon immediately once you guzzle it down. It's right there on on your tongue. It's very mild. It's just almost you could drink this maybe late fall, middle of the beginning of the fall season, and even going into the maybe start of the spring season. If you save the bottle, you can even have that during that time when it's in between. It's cold and it's almost in the 50s, 60-degree temperature outside. And if you want something, if you're doing some yard work outside, this will go good with it. Yeah, this ain't bad. I mean, it's all right. It's good. Nice. It's just refreshing. It's good. I'm trying to think of another herb spice beer that I had. I think it was one may have been from Blue Moon with the Harvest Pumpkin Spice, I believe it was. And then there have been others have had something Reds, the Reds line. We can say that has some fruit in it. Citrus Radler. I don't know if this is in that category of a spice herb flavored beer, but they're okay. But I would say more for the time of year to have these, it would be during the fall season or maybe the beginning of the spring season. I would say that would be about where I would chug some of these. I don't see this as a something to have in winter months or maybe in the summer. I mean, this could be in this. That's kind of how I would look at it. So it's been the perfect time to have it. To go with this, I would say maybe a salad. Maybe if you're sitting there snacking on some cheese, something that's just not too overly heavy bodied. That would probably go well with it. So, I mean, it's good enough. I mean, like I said, it's really, really a lot of flavor of cinnamon in this. It's more than anything. It's very not much malts in it. It's grainy. Definitely some small hint of corn, but not a lot. But mostly more cinnamon than anything. So yeah, it is a reasonable, decent spice beer to have. So, so as I said, Blue Moon has really been pushing, has been innovative. Some of their stuff is good for those of folks who really got into want to get into the craft beer market. I think many would say that Blue Moon, not this beer, but their original, the Belgian um, uh, white or wheat or whatever, their signature beer, the Belgian white with the orange peel on top, or you put in your beer, was I guess everyone's introduction to craft beer who could not afford to get some stuff maybe from a Founders or a Covington or maybe a Lazy Magnolia or Stone or Southern Tier or Goose Island before some of those companies that I mentioned or Sierra Nevada were gobbled up by the big companies or some of the big conglomerates. This was sort of the first thing American craft beer, I guess, that people gravitated towards. But it was owned by by Coors, and many were kind of shocked. And there was a guy who, about 2 years ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, sued, found out it was, 3 years ago, found out that the beer was not a craft beer company, tried to sue it. The judge kind of dismissed the case and told the person, "Look, get lost. I got time to waste with this BS." And everyone knew early on that it was a Coors product, but this guy, I guess, like some, didn't really pay attention to the labeling and seeing who owns what, or who those who are really into beer, who was the ownership, who does this, who does that, who are some of the players and whatnot. Um, so the case was dismissed, thrown out, and they said, of course, you can continue doing what you're doing. So anyway, um, a good. Herb spice beer, not great, but good enough. And it's not the style I tend to get from myself or buy right usually. So I will give this. I'm going to give this beer a. First, I'll give this beer 7.5. I think that's a good score. B minus C. I think C plus B minus. I think that should about where I would rate it at. Again, it's not the style I tend to get for myself, so good enough, but not my thing. But anyway, if you had these herb spice beers, Blue Moon Cinnamon Horache or Horacha or Horchata, if you had this before and you think it deserves that score or lower or maybe higher, leave your thoughts and comments on the bottom. Join us in Pierre the Beer Ramble team. Keep on watching, and as always, cheers. Cinnamon, yum.